Capone goes into hiding.
The McSwiggan killing was the first time that most people in Chicago took notice at the gangland killings, and initially had an outcry of wanting to have these killings stopped.
There's no hard evidence against Capone, and no witnesses willing to testify. The case is eventually dropped, but the incident cements the image of Capone and the Tommy gun as a public menace. In 1926, the Thompson submachine gun is one of the most powerful weapons ever to hit the streets. It's named after Brigadier General John T. Thompson, who pioneered its invention in 1918.
John Thompson very astutely recognized that American soldiers needed greater firepower. He recognized this even before World War I, but then once World War I started, he realized that now is the time that we're going to have to develop a weapon that fits these terms.
This is the fully automatic water-cooled Browning M1917 heavy machine gun, standard U.S. Army issue in World War I. It's heavy. It weighs about 93 pounds with tripod and gear, so it takes a crew of 3 to transport and operate it. It's almost impossible for an infantryman with a rifle to advance against a defensive weapon like this. But Thompson wants to change things. He wants to put this kind of full auto firepower into the hands of the individual soldier as an offensive weapon. To Thompson's dismay, the Army is unwilling to put resources into developing new weaponry. Soon after the start of World War I, he leaves the military to design on his own the powerful firearm that he envisions. Thompson writes, "Our boys in the infantry now in the trenches need a one-man handheld machine gun, a trench broom." In 1916, he forms the Auto Ordnance Company, and work begins in earnest on a rapid-fire, lightweight automatic machine gun. They decide to use the easily available Army standard .45 caliber automatic Colt pistol cartridge for the new weapon. Now his chief obstacle is to work out a dependable breech lock mechanism. A breech lock is what keeps the chamber of a firearm closed while the cartridge is fired. Without it, the cartridge can eject prematurely, violently exploding. None of the locking systems of the day are small or light enough for the gun that Thompson envisions.
He needed something new that could keep the weapon locked during firing, that could unlock the weapon during the recoil phase, and still keep the weapon lightweight.
Thompson finds what he's looking for in a simple bronze lug called a blish lock. It works by metallic adhesion, a kind of super friction that delays the rearward thrust of the bolt and the ejection of the spent cartridge until the chamber pressure is at a safe level. The fraction of a second delay is enough to protect from dangerous flyaway cartridges.
The blish lock was a major step in safety for the guns.
Thompson calls his new weapon a submachine gun because it uses pistol caliber rather than rifle caliber ammunition. It's an all-new weapons classification.
The Thompson was a completely new design, started from scratch, to become, in essence, a standalone generation of firearm.
The first production model comes off the line in 1920. Model 1921A is made of forged and machined carbon steel and is 32 inches long. It has a stock of American black walnut, and the weapon weighs nearly 20 pounds fully loaded. The powerful gun fires .45 caliber automatic Colt pistol cartridges from either a 20-round box magazine or 50 and 100-round drums.
It's a revolutionary weapon insofar as it produces an incredible volume of fire. One person can stand and spray an area with 145 caliber bullets in the span of just 4 seconds. And there really aren't any other weapons in the world at all that can compare to that kind of functionality.
But Thompson's machine is too late for World War I.
It was designed to fill a military role, and then the military didn't need it.
So Thompson decides to go after civilian customers. In 1922, he stages a public demonstration in New Jersey, but his gun fails to find a market.
There's this strange reception. Everyone that saw the weapon demonstrated would remark, it's an incredible technical innovation. It's the greatest firepower that there is available to an individual today. But then nobody was buying it.
What saves the Tommy gun from obscurity are the mobsters of Prohibition Chicago.
The era of the drive-by shooting was born thanks to the Thompson submachine gun.
So what do you have here, Marty?
All right, Hunter, here is your M1921 Thompson submachine gun.
Very nice. Now, not too heavy. It's about like 9 pounds, 10 pounds, something like that?
You're approaching 10 pounds of the weapon. It's not exactly lightweight, but not too terrible until I give you a 100-round C-drum magazine, right, with the submachine gun and 100 rounds of 45 ACP in a C-drum magazine. You're looking at approaching 20 pounds of weight.
But it's nice and compact, so I can see why gangsters would want to choose this as the ultimate weapon. It seems like it'd be easy to wield inside of a vehicle.
Absolutely. Gangsters love this. This was the ideal drive-by shooting weapon because, especially equipped with a 100-round magazine, the weapon can pour out a very high volume of fire. And because it's somewhat of a heavy weapon, it tends to hold its recoil down. There's very little in the way of felt recoil on the weapon, and so that gives you the ability to keep your point of aim on a target while you just pour out volume of fire on it.
My challenge is to simulate a gangster drive-by shooting. Driving around 15 miles per hour, I've got just 4 seconds, about the time it takes to empty a 100-round drum magazine, to see what kind of damage I can do to these paint cans. Now that I'm in here, it's a little more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's tight. It's not an easy thing. Drive-by shooting is a very challenging thing to accomplish well. Ready? Fire! Hold your fire. Click it on safety. All right, let's see how you did. That was 4 seconds.
I'll tell you, that is challenging.
How'd it feel?
It felt good, though. And it's easy with this much firepower to really walk it onto the target and just collectively put a lot of ammunition in one space. Well, this is a pretty graphic representation of what you can do with that much firepower. So how'd I do?
You did good. I mean, look, this is 4 seconds of time on target with an M1921 Thompson submachine gun.